Hello, you caught me catching a quick sip of water. All other brands and water obviously are available. So welcome to episode 20. Episode 20 of Alive at 11:45. And today I'm going to be sharing a bit about visibility and being seen. Now, for some of us, we're in lockdown. Some of you have been in lockdown for a while. This is like lockdown 2.0. But even if your business is a bricks and mortar business, even if your business thrives on you being in people's houses, there is still room and space for you to be visible and for you to keep your business at top of mind and for it to be seen. So, I wanted to share a couple of things that have already been very successful over lockdown 1.0. So they're already, it's already had eyeballs on it. But more importantly, I want to explain why they're effective, why they work, and really to have ways in which of how you could implement them within your business. So for those of you that join live, I'm always happy to take your questions live. And for those of you that engage on the replay, thank you so much for engaging on the replay. Do remember to type your comments below, and whether you're watching this on my Facebook page, which is the Queen of Being Seen, easy way to find it, at Visibility Vibe without the S, or if you're watching this on YouTube, just simply subscribe to my channel, and then you can take your pick as to which ones of these that you watch. So day 20, I was reflecting about really being seen, because one of the biggest challenges and the biggest struggles that most people have, especially when they're talking to me about, well, how can I do this differently, is how can they have like more eyeballs on their work? How can their work be seen? And usually there's an element of how can it be more engaging? Well, that's kind of a different answer for a different question. However, what I found during the first pandemic, you've got to take a temperature check. I know that some of you might watch this and think, why do you keep going on about lockdown, or why do you keep talking about the pandemic? It's because at the time of shooting this, we're in it. There's no point me being authentic and real, and it's one of my key core values. There's no point me rocking up on the screen and almost like being in denial. For the second time this week, I think I used that word, in denial. Not the river in Egypt, it's not as funny the second time, but there's no point being in denial of what's happening around us, For many of you, you have been affected in some way by this pandemic. And for many of you in business, you've been affected in some way. And being in denial and, trying just to put it kind of glitter over everything and put a positive spin on everything doesn't always serve your brand. It makes people wonder how connected you are with what's going on in the world, but also how connected you are with them. Many of you work with people and have a business that helps people, that doesn't help people to grow their business or get more clients or make more money. Some of the current clients that I work with now help people in their personal relationships. Another one helps people to manifest the things that they want. Another in life, another helps people with the trauma of it. Another one helps people to stay sober, and these are people who have maybe been to AA and want to keep and continue the habit, so they're not in need of therapy or something. I've got another who works strongly with your values, your core values, and does it through the lens of spirituality too. So it's a gorgeous, yummy mix. Now, all of those businesses, everything they do has nothing to do with more money, more clients, more business, and in a way, everything to do with that, because it works with the person themselves. I talk a lot about helping you to find your voice and be visible, and I've been doing that for a decade, and just doing that alone has had me invited to speak numerous times on BBC Radio, from things like 5 Live, Radio Scotland, Radio Manchester, Radio 5 Live a few times. I even appeared a couple of times with Nicky Campbell, sat in his studio, a true professional. But all of these things started from being seen and being visible. And I didn't have an agent, I didn't have somebody special working behind the scenes. It was just me rocking up like this. So the first reflection of the pandemic was a post that I shared, and two of them got shared within a couple of weeks of each other, which really seemed to take hold. What's significant about the first post, it was, and I might get these the wrong way around, but the first post, as I remember, was around a guy who was talking about a pandemic, kind of in a pantomime style. He's there with his kid reading a bedtime story, and the kid says, "Daddy, tell me about 2020 and what happened in the pandemic." And he talks about how people rallied together, how they were kinder to each other, how they looked out for their neighbours, kind of like how life became wonderful. And you've got to remember that within this time, life for a lot of people, even though it was hard and people struggled, people are struggling under the surface with grief, people are worried about losing their jobs, people have lost their jobs, some people haven't, some people have made more money in this time and now feel guilty that maybe they shouldn't have done that. All sorts of things are happening. We're taking care of our older relatives, we're taking care of the kids where we can, we're taking care of children that aren't eating. Marcus Rashford has done the brilliant stuff that he has. Great nod out to Manchester there. So he's done all of these, different things, and all of these capture people's emotions. It captures their imaginations, yes, their hearts and their minds, but really their emotions. So if when you're being visible and when you're putting your work out there, you're able to genuinely, not in a contrived way because people smell that, if you're able to genuinely, capture people's emotions, you will get loads of views. And by the way, that video I put out had over 24,000 views. As simple as that. In fact, I'll have to dig it out and share it on this page as well. So the next one that was really successful were just memories from the 70s. Now, there were a couple of things going on. I was born in the 70s, so there were lots of great memories there, from different toys to sweets to drinks to things that used to be around, how a TV or radio could look. And it was just a couple of minutes, but again, it was really like, it allowed us to reminisce, almost, when you're younger and you kind of say, oh, the good old days, people used to say the good old days. What happens when you find yourself going, oh, the good old days, remember this, remember that? I think that captured people's hearts. It brought back some great memories, and it also actually enlivened their senses, how chocolate and sweets back then would taste. Think about the sweet shop, for those of you that were around at that time, that used to do those little sweets, the nuts. Can you remember the little peanuts, the sweet peanuts, rhubarb and custard, the little apple sweets as well, sherbet pips, lemon pips, all of those sweets. And remember the big jars they came in, and kind of gazing up to them and thinking, how much money have I got and how many of those can I buy? Just those alone evoke memory. So if what you share in your business can evoke memories. There's a really great guy who helps do lots of odd jobs around the house. I used to network with him in Surrey, and if he was to bring back those memories, can you remember the orange brown carpets of the 70s, maybe the Artex ceiling of the 80s, and just evoke those memories for people? He can do that within talking about his business and his work. So that one again got over 20,000 views. And then there were some ones that I shared, and people normally say, but Jenny, I like to keep my personal life personal. And, I'm not asking you to kiss and tell, flash your boobs, or, be inappropriate in any way. There are certain things that are personal that still capture the hearts and minds of your people that, haven't even met you yet. It gives them a sense of who you are. And it means that if they're not a fan of who you are, they can move on and find someone that is. But it also means that they feel that they get to know you a bit better and what you're about. And that's really important when you're being visible. Quickest way, of course, to do this is on video, either Facebook Live or video. And on a Facebook Live, you can have that kind of interactive discussion. on a video, they get to see who you are. You get to see that despite my pictures that were taken a couple of years ago, that my hair, I've got my lockdown hair on now, you know. You get to see that. You get to see a bit more, or have a sense of who the person is behind the brand. You know, to cite somebody like Richard Branson or Oprah Winfrey, they have got brands, huge brands, but you get a sense of who they are. You get a sense of Richard Branson being not only a pioneer, but the original disruptor in the industry, somebody who protests and stands for things that other people didn't. So just as an example, when you're sharing stuff like that, that helps. So without any Facebook ads, without any extra posts or anything else like that, I shared my marathon journey. I shared pictures of my medal, and I got so many people that liked those posts, you know, and commented on those posts. You know, I've seen people with like 20,000 plus followers on their page, and they put posts out and they're lucky if they get 10 people like or comment on it. The thing here isn't to focus on the numbers in this particular way. There's a different way that you focus on the numbers that serves you more greatly, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But the thing is to focus on the engagement with the people that you help. So if you're a sort of person that says, yeah, but I can help everyone with what I do, what's likely is you'll be putting your stuff out there and nobody will really be grabbing it. Now, if you've ever struggled with that magic in your message and being able to position what you do with different people, or to the certain audiences that you deal with, I do have an event that's coming up in just 3 weeks' time. So if you're watching this after the 5th of November, you've got even less time. It's a 3-day online boot camp. It's going to be a way for you to get yourself out there, get your products and services out there, and to be able to continue the trend that you wanted to see in your business when you started it. I don't want you to have to put yourself in furlough if you're a self-employed business. You don't have to. Believe it or not, you don't have to. But what you do need is the courage of your convictions to be able to offer your services in a way that doesn't rely just on a PowerPoint presentations. So the event is presentations that sell, and it's not only about what you do when you get the chance to pitch your services to an individual, to a company, to a group of people. It actually covers the steps before to get you there, so that by the time you've got the opportunity to present your products and services, people are already sold. This to me is important, and here's why. It's important for our economy. It's important that you have new and current ways in how to put yourself out there. And it's important to me that you're able and you have the ability to get yourself out in the world in the way that you need to. I don't want to see people struggling, and that's where I can help. You know, that's one of my areas of expertise. I want to be able to help you to do that. So if you or someone you know really needs some help with that, check out the event in this page, and if you check out, I'll make sure that the link to have a look a little bit more about what the 3 days are about. I'll put the link in the description here. I'd love you to join me. You know, my events aren't 200 people deep where you get lost in a sea of faces. They're practical. You've got a workshop that's built within the boot camp, so you get a chance to not only create ideas but run them past other people around you. Really important to me that I can do this work specifically now, especially given that in the beginning of the first lockdown, I could have easily lost my business overnight, and I didn't. I'm so grateful. I don't want you to either. So I'd love to show you how to do that and build it throughout the 3 days. So remember, when you're being visible to be seen and have your products and services seen, don't just think about, well, what am I posting out there? Does it look pretty? Does it look glossy? Does it look like I'm being successful? Really speak to the hearts and the minds and the emotions of the people that you want to serve. Thank you so much. Please share this video. If you've got friends who have got their own businesses, and maybe they're one-man band businesses, and maybe they offer services as opposed to products, do share this with them as a private message and just say, look, check this out. Even what I share on this video or the other 19 videos will definitely help them. Thank you so much for joining me, and waving to those of you who have hopped on, and some of you who've hopped off, and also to those of you who watch and comment on the replays. Thank you so much. Bye for now.